So good morning and welcome back over to Epcot. We are not here for another food and wine video. We are actually here for an update video. And from the last time we did an actual update video, Epcot has been announced a lot of things coming. And there's a lot to go over. There's been some opening date. There's been an opening date announced. Some two things that are actually going to be, one thing permanently leaving, one thing going to be closing very shortly soon for a while. So let's just jump right on and start walking around because the first thing is right here in the front. So one of the most recent news, because this is just because we're right here, Spaceship Earth, right here, very front of the park, has actually announced that starting in 2020, right after the 40th anniversary of Epcot, will be shutting down for nearly 2 years. 2 years of updates and everything. Now, it's kind of a big deal that it is closing. It is because this is one of the major announcements coming out of this. And the fact that this will actually be happening over Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. Now, it hasn't been 100% confirmed. Disney hasn't come out and said anything. And I mean, they may have, but the article I read was from another group. But Spaceship Earth has been needing a little bit of a change. And not just a little change, because they do change their narrations up. They do go for refurbishment. But they talked about this is not just any ordinary change. It is probably going to be a full track change up. They also said that the way you enter, the way you exit is going to be completely different. So this whole area may change into something completely different. You may enter a different location and everything else that goes with this front section. So one of the other big changes that will come out of Spaceship Earth is Project Tomorrow in here, right here in the back. So Project Tomorrow, more than likely you're going under a major transformation. Now this could move to the front of the building, could do something, but they said this whole area, this building may be demolished and rebuilt. So this whole area that we see every time you come off Spaceship Earth may change. Now I think they'll keep the idea of Project Tomorrow, but make it more towards what they're trying to lead Epcot into being. Well, now that we've seen the biggest absolute change, one of the biggest announcements to come out of this, I mean, besides all the stuff being built, the biggest thing was finding out Spaceship Earth will be closing for almost 2 full years for a massive refurbishment. So what that also tells me is that this park, they are willing to invest a little bit of time into getting it right. Because unfortunately this park, after the 1990s, started kind of running out of an identity. Right now the identity of this park is mostly food and wine, Festival of the Arts, and Flower and Garden, becoming what's called the festival park. So it's only really like a lot going on during the festival season. That's why they're building these 2 new rides, and they're talking about changing Spaceship Earth to go with the idea of what Epcot's going to be. Also, the talk has been that whole front section where all the Leave It Legacy is, which actually I have a Leave It Legacy with my little sister. May go check that out afterwards. But they're trying to get rid of that. They're trying to make it more dynamic down the middle, essentially make it spine for this park, where it's just right down the middle. So that's why there's all these changes kind of going on, and that the fact that the biggest surprise was that Spaceship Earth would be closing for almost 2 years. Over the 50th said that they are really willing to invest into doing that. So that was a huge thing I found out. So okay, now that we have done the Spaceship Earth, let's head over to where Guardians is going to be, where the old Ellen Universe of Energy used to be. We're going to head over there, check out, see if we can see any sort of construction going on, and then work our way back over to the other side, look to the World Showcase, and check out some things. And also, there's another big announcement coming out of really just lately, because there wasn't really D23, because D23 is in July. Alright, now walking out where you can see Mission Space off to the left, we're going to be walking down here to the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster, and the biggest thing I'm noticing right off the bat, one, there's a giant hole in the middle of that building. Now that's the building that used to house Ellen's Universe of Energy, right there in the middle. That's a big building, and that's not even the ride. They're having to build a separate building for the ride itself. Also, one of the biggest things I'm noticing is they have completely taken off all the solar panels off the top here. And I don't know if that's just they're going to change up the solar panels, they're going to change it up. But again, you cannot really see the building, and what we'll do is we'll go into the World Showcase and we'll check out more of what you can see the building, and it's starting to look like they're building a side part coming off, like when you're coming in from the parking lot, to attach to this building. But as you can see, that's all missing. The old Universe of Energy sign has now been taken down, so that means we're starting to see more of this building being worked on. Now I know it took a while to get the inside emptied out, but that means they're starting to connect all this together into one giant building. Also, another thing, there has been no official opening time frame for this ride yet. They're still just saying 2021. Now, I'm convinced they're going to try to have it done before the 50th, because with them closing Spaceship Earth, they're now going to have this is going to be a major draw in for this park. Mostly because also 2021 gets kind of past that Marvel contract that they have, that they can actually have rides like this east of the Mississippi. So, but I'm really excited because that shows they're doing a lot of progress. Now I wonder if they'll keep the, what do you call it, the solar panels on top, but they'll maybe add some more or something. But all I know, it's a big old building that they had, and it's a big old building they're building behind it. So let's just kind of come up here to test track and see what the wait times are. I'm kind of curious as to what wait times are on a Monday morning, afternoonish, because almost noon, but still kind of the morning time. So come up here and check out the wait time really quick. Also, I forgot that I want to see anything else with this new Spaceship restaurant they're building. So I forgot they're building it off to the left here, a test track. So test track is posting an 80-minute wait, which sounds about right for this ride. It's because of how long like the pre-show and like designing your car takes. The only thing I ever wish is that you could have a wait time where if you don't want to make your own car, because I don't want to make it my car every time. So, but now we're gonna head to the left that way and see if we can see any of the building for the space restaurant. So if you kind of see through the trees right there, if you kind of zoom in a little bit like I am right now, you see a little bit of steel work has kind of gone up, which means that they're starting to work on the building already, which means I can see it's being done by next year at some point. But I think you won't enter here. I think you'll enter up by Mission Space, which would be kind of cool because it's supposed to tie off of Mission Space a little bit. So don't also be surprised, Mission Space is actually posting a 30-minute wait. 30 minutes seems kind of a lot, especially for the orange side. Definitely would recommend doing this later in the day when there's no one over here, because then it's usually just a walk-on. So we're gonna head back towards the way we came back from when we first walked in from Spaceship Earth, right near the pen trading and the fountain, and head towards the World Showcase, because there's really nothing on the other side. Nothing's been announced yet, coming as far as we know, so we're gonna head over there first. We're gonna head back to the middle section and then we'll go to the World Showcase. All right, now that we're back up here, you can see the fountain. Now again, like I've said before, at some point this fountain, I think once Epcot gets into its construction, I think once Star Wars Land's open and everything, they'll start doing a lot of work with this fountain. Apparently this fountain is supposed to be moved back a little bit closer to the World Showcase to give more open area right here. But we're gonna head past the fountain, head straight into the World Showcase, and get some views of what's going on. Now, if any of you are like me are into kind of fun facts, and I mean, I still gotta do an Epcot fun fact video, but if you come up here, right at this middle section, you can see, like it looks like the Epcot stuff, like the Epcot old symbols. That is actually considered the center of Walt Disney property. Of all Disney property, that right there is the center of it. So if anyone is still curious about kind of what the weather looks like this time of the year, so we're about halfway through October. It's still very hot, but the thing about it is it's not as humid now anymore. So it's warm, it's very hot, but like right now in the shade, and there's a little breeze, actually doesn't feel that bad compared to what we've been having. So keep that in mind if you want to come during this time of the year, but also remember it's kind of on the busier side due to it being the Halloween season. So if you want to get an idea, so I'm on the bridge. So right there is a walkway down to Test Track. Test Track's right there. The Odyssey building's right here. I'm on this little walkway between the World Showcase and Future World. Now if you look just a little bit right there, that right there is the building for Guardians. Now, get an idea, we're going to move a little bit to the right. Keep moving to the right. Under the umbrella, you see that right there, that's the edge. Now if we move back to where we were, sorry if it's a little shaky, I'm just trying to move around a little bit. Keep moving back a little over, so keep in mind how big that was. Right here is the end of that building. That building is absolutely huge. So and there's still not much come out about it, besides it's just gonna be one of the longest enclosed coasters in the world. That's only really the major thing that's come out of it. So despite the fact that we are heading into the World Showcase, it is food and wine time. I'm not here for food and wine, I'm here for updates. And one of the biggest updates is we got to go down here to kind of near the water to kind of talk about a little bit more. Also, just a pro tip, this is kind of the nicest little area to come down. So if you don't mind it being a little hot, but you want a really kind of cool view from left to right of the World Showcase, down here is the absolute best spot to look at all the countries and everything around it. Alright, so one of the second, probably the biggest announcement outside of Spaceship Earth, going down for almost a 2-year refurb, is this thing that happens out here. And right now you can't see anything, the only thing you see is one little barge. But Epcot's Illumination's Reflections of Earth is now in its final runs. They announced in mid-2019, so probably summer 2019, Illumination's Reflections of Earth here at Epcot will be leaving at some point. Now that does mean we are getting a new show here. And if anything shows, anytime they've announced something like this, and they announce something brand new, we've gotten nothing but more than our expectation. Let's look at Magic Kingdom. Wishes, very beloved, very well received. Happily Ever After though came in and has become my favorite fireworks show. Now a lot of people are really upset because this was running, I want to say it was 19 to 20 years. This has been the longest running nighttime display of fireworks or anything Disney has ever let run at any one of its parks, and I think it's about time for it to change. Now it's a good change because again, Disney's trying to change Epcot's identity a little bit more, and Epcot's identity is very lost right now. So with the idea of everything going on, this is kind of a cool change to have going for it. Also, that means I think 2019 is a year we will see a lot more going on with this park. Because if you notice, 2019 is when Illumination goes away. I think 2019 is the year because I think they're trying to get Star Wars Land open at studios so that they can start focusing on Epcot a little more. Because if you see, they put a lot of effort into studios, and a lot has gone on with that park. So that means they are going to switch all their attention from studios over here to Epcot, and I cannot wait because Epcot is a very fun park. I love the meaning behind it. It's got a lot of meaning. So now we got to go from up here at the front over by Paris to check on Ratatouille because they made an announcement about Ratatouille. So we now walked all the way back here to the International Gateway, and now something I want to do is I need to do a video all around these gondolas and like the update and the route and everything, and like follow the route as best as we can. Now granted, it's going to be a lot of traveling, probably taking a lot of buses to and from places, but I think we will do one of those. I will have to do that at some point. But we're down here in France. Probably not going to get too much far into it because you can't see the Ratatouille building as much anymore. Even like on the other side, you cannot see it as much. So I'm actually going to stop here in the shade, one, so I can talk, because every time I stopped, it stopped right in the direct sunlight. So Ratatouille, as we know, is an exact duplicate of something that is coming from Paris. And it's coming over here, so the exact layout, exact everything. Something that we've seen before. Now, this is kind of a cool concept because they're also doing this with the Tomorrowland and Tron. So I think what Disney's trying to do is they're trying to bring in rides from other areas that are, you know, to these foreign countries that, you know, people probably can never visit, like Paris, Shanghai, stuff like that. So it's kind of a cool concept they're doing. Now, Ratatouille is very well received over there, and it's considered a really good ride. So I'm really excited to get it. But one of the big announcements that came out about, I want to say about a month or so ago, was that they have now a projected opening time for this ride. And I don't know when I said it was going to be, but I had said it was going to be in 2020, but I think I said fall of 2020. They announced, it said in May of 2020 this ride will be open. Now it didn't say May, a certain date, May, it just means May time frame. So that means in May of 2020, Ratatouille will be coming to Epcot and be coming to the fair, into the France Pavilion, back here in the back of Epcot. So I also wanted to stop over here because right here's the International Gateway. That's UK. I'm between UK and France right now, and I wanted just to take one good look at the Guardians building from back here. Now Disney has said before, and also always say, they're not going to try to hide this building. It's just going to be something like the Star Tours test track building is going to be just going to be out there. It's going to be part of the show, as everything that's going to go along with it. However, the more we get closer, the more this gets built up. The day they enclose it is going to be the day I'm going to be super excited for it. Just a lot going on with Epcot, and there's still a lot more to come because this park has had a lot of announcements coming out of it that there hasn't been a lot of things done yet. Like one of the things, there's been a lot of talk that maybe a new country added, and something else may be added. You know, there's just a whole lot this park has yet to release, but we know they're spending a lot of money. I think it's like $1.8 billion to renovate this park. Now most of it's going to be building these rides, but there still leaves a lot of room in that budget to bring in some new things. Now if y'all do remember last week when we came, and I know only a few of y'all saw that video, but some of y'all did, and if you're just curious as when is the best time to come to this park for food and wine, right now is the best time. It's not very busy, the lines are very short, also it's a Monday and it's in the morning, so you have a lot of people who may have been coming out for the weekends who are not coming out tonight, so works out really well actually. So we'll kind of take a quick little look because we walked back over here right by the beginning of the World Showcase, right here next to the transportation of the World Showcase. If you look over here, I don't know if you can see it very well, and it probably won't show up because now they even closed the building in like green walls. So that's the building, and it's a pretty decent sized building, nothing like the Guardians. But it just shows that now they must be working on the inside of the actual ride. But we still have over a year and a half to wait for this ride. Now Disney takes a long time with their rides because they want them to be perfect, and that's usually what they try to work on, especially if they're building a brand new building from this ground up. They want the ride to it'll take about 2 to 3 years for it to usually show up. I think one of my favorite views as you walk out of the World Showcase back into the future world is the Epcot ball. And with the little fountain going off and the blue skies behind it, it looks like a postcard almost, to be 100% honest. But definitely can tell you it's getting hot and it's getting busy. So like I made a comment, so these giant like pillow looking things, these are what's called the Leave a Legacy that they did in the year 2000 during the Millennium celebration. Well, it's been rumors that these are probably end up going to go away during this kind of crazy remodel. Now I would appreciate a lot of that, because then this would open up all the space a little bit more, not congested in the middle. But I do want to see if I can find, because me and my sister did this a long time ago, so I want to see if I can find our picture. So right there is me and my little sister when we did this, oh god, whenever they did it, a long time ago. Now, like I said, you know, it'd be like, oh, it'd be sad to see this go. Like I said, that's me and my little sister. It'd be sad to see this go, but you know what? It's been here for a long time, we've gotten to see it, you know, it's cool, but I think it's run its course, and I think it's about time that needs to go, to be honest. Okay, now that it's getting kind of hot, it's starting to get a little busy, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Had no intentions really to ride anything or do anything else, but check out some of these updates and just let you guys know what is going on, because there is a lot with Epcot going on, and there's still a lot not to be started yet, so very excited for everything coming on. I'm kind of excited to see the Ratatouille's got kind of an opening time frame. Guardians is coming along really well, and the fact that we find out Illumination is leaving is sad, but I'm really excited to see what Disney can do next. So with all this being said, if you do head out for a very wonderful time here at Epcot, we will see y'all next time.